Hello everyone, welcome to my fish room. Currently we're looking at a 375 gallon peacock bass tank. I have monos in there and Zingu, and there's a common pleco in there as well. Making this video because posted a fish room tour with the Sacramento Aquarium Society several months ago, and people expressed a lot of interest in seeing more. For the time being, I think this is probably just going to be a once a month sort of fish room tour and update type video. I do have other ideas for videos that I could make. If people are interested in other information on keeping a small to medium sized fish room, or are interested in big fish of any sort, let me know. Like I said, peacock bass, mono and Zingu. These guys are a couple years old now. They've still got a lot more growing to do. And then down here, way back in there, and I don't actually know that we're going to be able to see him on camera, but there is a Begarius Leica, which is a type of goonch. Looks quite similar to Begarius yarrowli for those who are familiar, but doesn't get as big, and it prefers warmer temperatures than Leica, which is quite temperate. Begarius Leica is more tropical. From there, this is my breeding pair of umbies. Mom is in the back with a fry cloud right now. I'm not too happy to have me in the camera so close. These are Rio Mags. These are F1 Rio Mags, so the babies are F2. They would breed every other week if I were to pull the babies. You'll notice a lot of algae on this tank. I don't really want to stick my hand in there right now. Even while they're small. They've been really fun. I've only had them about 6 months, and they've both doubled in size or so. Down here is my 6-stripe Frontosa colony. For those who don't know, Frontosa are endemic to Lake Tanganyika. You'll see kind of throughout the fish room that I have 3 main themes, and that is big South American cichlids, Lake Tanganyikan cichlids, and big Indo-Pacific predatory fish. Those are my interests, or at least my main interests. I like pretty much everything but what I've chosen to keep, and what I seem to never get bored of. Over here next to the Frontosa are a group of, these are baby Tropheus Malero And then there are a group of Neolamprologus pulcher. I believe are sometimes called daffodil cichlids. And I don't know if you can see, but there are a group of babies in there. Quite small. Up here, this is a group of mostly Southeast Asian, Indo-Pacific fish. So we have rainbows and rosaline barbs and a group of freshwater clouded archers. This tank was more heavily planted, but the barbs all seem to eat plants, so it has not lasted. As I'm going through the room, I have to keep turning lights off and on to reduce the glare, otherwise I wouldn't be able to see anything. This is my big tank. This is a 600 gallon, so 10 feet long by 4 feet wide by 2 feet high. These are mostly all Indo-Pacific fish of various kinds, so there are tinfoil barbs, ruby scats, Indo and Sumatran datinoids, a Jardini arowana, because Asian arowanas are not legal here in the US, royal clown knife, clown loaches, Atroplus suratensis, which is a green chromide, one of the very few cichlids from that part of the world. And there are a couple of Synodontis eupterus catfish in here. They will eventually move over into probably the Frontosa tank. I'm working on the lighting in this tank. I know it's bad. A lot of these fish don't really like it very bright. But working on getting something at least a little bit brighter and more even. And then the 600 gallon tank is on what is probably an 800 or 900 gallon system. Down here we have the sump. The filter sock probably needs to be changed, that's why you see the water overflowing like that. Here's a refugium. This has some Crebensis cichlids in it. These guys were bred in the room. And were the breeder stock I kept for the next generation. And then some Endlers live bearers. And then around here, it's quite dark. I need to come back to get a better shot of him, but this is my green terrier. We'll come back. And then down here, this is another refugium / grow out tank. This is a 135. Still on the same system. This is growing out some Waru Amphiacanthoides and a red shoulder severum and some Geophagus abelios and clown loaches and some other stuff. So back in here, I know he's hard to see, but this is a Harlequin Lancer cat. Really beautiful fish. He'll get a little bit bigger. Probably 7 or 8 inches at the moment. So again, this is on the same system as the 600-gallon, the refugium, and the sump, as well as the green terror tank. So all in all, probably about a 900-gallon system. And I can go more into filtration at some point if people are interested, but water flows down into the sump. Pardon the wiring mess. And then gets pulled out by these canister filters and pumped over to the refugiums. And just to follow up, now that we have a little light on him, this is the green terror. His tank isn't lit. This tank is just below the 600-gallon tank. He's fun. He's a good mascot fish. Sometimes he'll go after my finger. There we go. Yeah. Alright, this is a 300-gallon South American community. There's a grow out Xingu peacock bass in here. Group of red hook silver dollars. Super red severum. There's a dwarf pike cichlid in here too, but I think he's hiding. And then the catfish is Platystoma dictes stereo. Super wild, fun looking cat. Won't get much bigger than this. Great mid-sized cat for tanks this size. This is my dehumidifier. This is probably the single most important piece of equipment to have in a fish room. If you don't have one and you have a fish room, I highly recommend you get one. I could probably do a video on humidity and its impacts and mold growth. Yeah, let me know if you're interested in that. Okay, now we have some more Tanganyikan fish. These are Neolamprologus multifasciatus. These are the common shell dweller. When most people ask for a shell dweller or think of one, this is what they're thinking of. And they're fun, they breed like crazy, they're super easy to breed. Highly recommend these. These are Neolamprologus catapunctatus. I had a huge group at one point, and then if I ever do a series on water changes, I can talk more about it, but because of an issue with the water change system, ended up losing that group. All except for 2, and thankfully they bred, and now I have this next generation and the mom of that group still. And then in here we have Cyphochromis, Leptosoma. These are the black bee. None of them have colored up yet. And I'm definitely looking for more of these. Down here we have a couple of domestic discus. These are fun fish, once again. With an auto water change in a town that has pretty low, relatively low pH and very soft water basically year round, discus are a lot easier to keep. And then also in this tank we have some stir-by cories. And some green phantom plecos. Moving over here, this is a group of umbi fry. I'm gonna try to get a better angle here. The background's falling off of this tank. Oh well. Group of umbi fry. This is their first and second generation of spawns. The first generation is probably ready to be sold and rehomed. There are also some king tiger plecos in here. They're all hiding. But back there, you can see the tail. There's a common bushy nose pleco, rather. You can see the tail of one of the king tigers. These are ones that look like they're from a Xingu collection point. Down here we have an Argentea cichlid. I recently moved it to this tank from the 300-gallon South American community. This is a Central American fish, and that tank has a lot more fish that will be going into it soon and is already kind of overstocked. So she's down here. Really, really beautiful fish. Finally, up in this part of the rack, there are some L129 Colombian zebra plecos. Thankfully, oh, I just twitched and it scared it off, but in the back there, they mostly hide, but they're really quite stunning. And then we've got some twig catfish in here as well. Just a pair. I don't know if they're a pair. There are only two. I'm hoping they're a pair. And then the last part of this rack is mostly shrimp. And I didn't feed, so I'm not really seeing many of them out. I keep both Caridina and your Neocaridina. There we go, there's a good one. These are my favorite. These are fancy red tigers. Highly recommend tiger shrimp to people looking to get into shrimp. Probably not orange-eyed blue tigers, but any of the others are some of the most flexible and durable shrimp in my experience. Those are just quarantine tanks that are empty right now. That down there is a shrimp coal tank. I think it does have some shrimp in it. These are Galaxy Caridina. This is a grow out mono peacock bass. A couple more baby datinoids. These are both Sumatran. I would be happy to do a video on datinoids too if people are interested. These are Heterotilapia multispinosa. These are from Sacramento Aquarium Society club member Becketine's Fish Room on YouTube. So also from an Aquarium Society club member, these are Bolivian rams. Hoping to get them to breed, but I need to feed more. And then this mess and disaster is my water change system. And stay tuned in a future video and I will go through that more in depth. Alright, thank you all for coming and hope you enjoyed. I will continue to try to do this going forward in the future. Again, on a monthly basis, at least for now. And we'll see where it goes.